other day, one of the visitors to the page posted a question, and she wanted to know what, why do guys feel so free to talk to you about other women? And yeah, I could have sworn I responded to that question, talked about that issue last year during the jump through hoop series, but I couldn't even begin to tell you which video it was in. I'd have to go looking, because now it's like we headed towards 350 videos. That's gonna be my next big mark, and surely you don't expect me to remember everything. So what I wanted to do though was address her question, because this is something that comes up a lot. Dudes get with you and they want to start talking about this, the last chick or some other chick, and you young ladies don't understand, why they're doing that. There's one of three reasons. There's only three reasons why they do this. Number one, they want to make you jealous, because they know when women get jealous, most women will get insecure and they'll start doing the jump through hoops thing that we discussed in that 25 video series last year. If you want to see it, I will post a link up here, and you just click that, and you can look through all 25 videos in that playlist. So that's one way. So, they feel like you're a little bit too confident, you too into yourself, or too pretty, and whatever it is, you're too much, and he wants to knock you down a peg or two. So he's going to start, bringing up these other women to compare you to them, make you jealous. I'm sorry, to make you jealous. Number two reason is because he wants he's trying to compare you to some other woman. He wants you to feel like you're coming up short so that you'll try harder. He wants to set you up so that you are in competition with these ghosts from his past, or possibly even some woman that he knows in the present that he's, keeps talking about. And then the third reason is because he's still in love with the heifer, and he can't stop talking about her because he can't stop thinking about her. Now, keep in mind, you only talk about stuff that you be thinking about, right? I sit around and think about all kind of crazy stuff about relationships and analyzing people, observing people and stuff. That's what I do with my time. I think about that. I think about that, and then I get on here and I make a video and I talk about it. That's what I do. So the words that come out of our mouths are the things that we think. Okay, keep that in mind. He's not just talking because words flew in his mouth magically. He's thinking about the bitch, and so therefore he is talking about the bitch. So why do you all, in all three of those instances, that's what's going on. Whether he's doing it with the intent of trying to make you jealous and insecure, or to put you in a position where you feel like you have to compete against this woman so that you can, quote, win him. Either way, he's thinking about that bitch. Okay, now, this is where it gets interesting, because so many of you fall for that game. You fall for the game. And as a matter of fact, let me just interject something before we get back into serious stuff. Let me tell you about this date I went on. This dude was a trip. So he calls me and he's like, oh, let's go out. It was like a blind date kind of hookup thing between another guy friend of mine. And he said, hey, dude is single now and blah, 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 blah. Okay, my mistake, and this was many years ago and I was young and still kind of dumb. I didn't ask the very one important question is, how long has he been broken up? See, I failed to ask that question. I just knew dude was just like, well, they've been broke up for, quote, a while. But a while in dude's language is like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? They're just different from women. So I'm sitting there, and so he says, okay, well, where do you want to go? He had a nice job, an engineer or something. So dude had some money, so he was like, yeah, well, where you want to go? I'll take you wherever you want to go. Well, I like this restaurant down in Jack London Square called El Pescatore. It's an Italian restaurant. It's very small. It looks like a little ship, but the food was screaming. So I love to go to that place. I would take myself there, so it wasn't like it was something that I had to wait for some dude to do for me. I went there all the time. So I told him I wanted to go there. So we met there. I don't know, let's say 7 o'clock. So we're sitting down, and we exchanged a few words about each other and this and that, and about the guy who set us up. And then this magical thing happened. We ordered our food, and as we were ordering our food, he started talking about this woman, that his ex. and how, what she would have liked on the menu. So I'm like, really now? And then I already knew it was happening by the fact that he said that. I already knew what time it was. But see, we had my favorite restaurant. You think I gave a damn? You talk about that bitch all night, and that's exactly what he did. While I ate and ate and ate, I ate my food and then I ate his too. At the time, I still ate, fish and shrimp and stuff, and so I had some shrimp scampi. And you know how they do in restaurants, it's like all kind of space on the plate. So it's not like when they say shrimp scampi, like you're eating a lot of shrimp. But I ate my shrimp scampi, then I ate his because he was not eating. What he was doing was talking. He was talking about this chick the whole date. That's all he talked about. I tried to ask him about his work. I asked about his family, his hobbies, what do you like to do? And this, I'm trying to see where we have some common ground and stuff. Every single thing I asked that man, he circled it around and somehow connected it to his ex. Yeah, we used to go here. We used to do that. And she used to like this thing. So, I mean, like, his head is still filled with this woman. So no matter how long they had been apart, which I still didn't never really find out, he was still focused on her. So I already knew, this wasn't going to go anywhere. And he was tall and nice looking and all this stuff. I mean, he intelligent, all the things that you look for at least to investigate further. He might still turn out to be stupid, but at least he met the initial checklist. You know what I mean? But he was a big failure because he wasn't emotionally available. And that's the key thing that you guys ignore. When guys do this, no matter what his reason is, well, no matter what you surmise is the bottom line, I mean, is his thing. The bottom line is his head is still filled, and possibly his heart too, with someone else. And that man is therefore not ever going to be available to you until he gets past that. Should you stick around and wait for that to happen? No, you should not. It may take years. It may never happen. There's dudes in their 60s now still talking about some shit that happened when they was 15 or 16 years old, and the girl that they fell in love with who broke their heart, they just never fucking get over it. So you would be sitting there wasting your life, trying to hope that he could like open up and really love you the way that you want to be loved when he's incapable of doing it because he's in love with that bitch over there. That's how it is. So if you have a man in your life, you trying to date him, or you met him or whatever, and he keeps talking about some other woman, that's a sign that he's not available. Now let's move forward to another example. You're already in a relationship with the man, right? And suddenly he starts talking about this new woman all the time. Oh, Sheila from the office. Sheila did this. Sheila told me this joke. Sheila that. Sheila. You're like, who is this bitch? Who is this Sheila? So, a lot of you will be like, well, it's just somebody at work. It's no big deal. No, you need to investigate that because what I keep telling you. If your man is talking about a bitch, then it means he's thinking about a bitch, okay? You got to understand this. They're not going to talk about some woman like that over and over if he's not contemplating something about her. There's something that triggered his mind, okay? His imagination, his lust. I mean, there's something going on with your man while he keeps talking about this bitch, okay? And guys, they just so randomly say stuff, and a lot of times they don't even really be thinking about what they're saying. But you need to be always paying attention to what your man says. Always. Listening to what he's talking about. Now, most of the time it's going to be something stupid. But occasionally there will be some gems that you can use against him later. You know what I mean? But you just pay attention to, what is going on with him and what's catching his interest and what he keeps talking about, because that's what he's focusing on. Okay? Now, one thing I noticed is that when men who are married or really involved with a woman want to put up boundaries and they don't even want you to try to go down that road of interest with them, within a few sentences they will mention their wife. They will mention her. They will say, well, I need to tell my wife about this. My wife would really like this. My wife and I went there. My wife cooked this for me, and it was, whatever. Somehow he's going to bring her into the conversation. Why? Because he's thinking about her. See, y'all, you don't understand the game here. So let's go over this because that's a good thing. I mean, when a guy does that, that's a good thing to me. That's the woman he's married to. That's the woman he loves. He's supposed to talk about her and in a positive, reflective way, and do it often to let everybody know that he's married. I mean, you got a ring on, that's great, but sometimes people are married and it's on, you know what I mean, they married, but in this case the guy is communicating, yes, I'm married, I'm happily married, do not try to put me in a situation. I'm putting I'm putting up the boundaries, and I'm letting you know right now that I am a happily married man, so don't even try nothing with me. That's what they're letting you know. So just to reiterate, just to go over this one more time. Okay, you got a man and he's talking about some other woman frequently, or enough that you notice it. If your man's talking about another woman, that means he's thinking about another woman. Okay, now you got to figure out why he's thinking about her. Is he thinking about her because he wishes you were more like her? Is he thinking about her because he can't stand her? Is he thinking about, but they really don't try to think about them too much because it makes them mad. So let's strike that one. He's mentioning her rather because he wants to get a certain reaction out of you. And they'll do that, right? And then they'll look at you. They'll be looking at you, because they want to see your reaction. So they'll be saying what they're saying. Normal person's having a conversation. They're going to be looking over there, looking down, looking at their hand. Oh, by the way, I got my nails done. For a change. Normal people look around or they just gesticulate. They're, doing stuff that involves other parts of their body or, eye movement and stuff. When a guy is studying your reaction, he's not going to do, he's going to be looking dead at you like this as he says those fucked up things to you, because he wants to see how you react to the fucked up things. And what you need to do when he say fucked up things is just look at him like this. No expression, no. Just like, That's it. Because anything else that you do, you're feeding his game. It's just, you just gotta let him know you don't give a shit about that. Nigga, talk about me, then I might care about what you're saying. But you don't want to talk about some bitch, to talk about some fishing trip and video games, all that stuff. I mean, that's all shit men like to talk about. It's boring as hell, and they like to talk about it. We all pretend to be interested because we like him, so we, it's just part of the relationship game that you have to play. But in reality, you just want to put a big zipper on his face and go zzz, and shut his ass up, because men talk about dumb shit 99% of the time that don't nobody want to hear except another dumb man. So these are the things that you need to watch out for. If he's talking about some woman, like I said, think about which one of those three options it could be. Is he trying to make you jealous and insecure? Is he trying to set you up to, to be in competition with this other woman to, win his heart or keep him or whatever, his little mind, to prove that you're the best and all this old stuff, go through all these changes, including like some women get plastic surgery, y'all be going through all kind of changes when they play that game with you. Or is he, still talking about another one because he really still loves her and she's like all in his mind, and he just can't do nothing about that until he heals. So those are my 3 answers to that question, young lady. I hope that provides you with the answer that you're looking for. You guys feel free to send your questions in. Like I said, go to the blog, survivingdating.com, and way up at the top of the screen, you'll see a button that says Get Advice. If you hover over it, it'll be a drop down. It'll say Submit Your Advice Question, and that's the form that you use. It has releases and things on it that I need, and just information, just some basic information about yourself, your gender, your age range, that kind of thing. And then you type your question in there and press the send button, and hopefully it'll be interesting enough that it will eventually make it into one of these videos. Deb Cooper, survivingdating.com, signing out.